Well, welcome, Metaverse Explorers. Really glad to have everyone here. Apologies for the technical difficulties. Thanks for joining. You are in Metaverse Explorers. This is hosted by Your Open Metaverse. Today, we'll be hearing from Nassim, the co-founder of Bublr, and they provide virtual reality solutions for hybrid and fully remote teams, and it will be an interactive presentation today. We'll ask for questions and comments throughout his presentation, and if you would like to make a comment or have a question, you can use your emoji to put your hand up above your head like I'm doing right now. And then everyone, while you're not speaking, if you will mute yourself, that we would appreciate that. I'm gonna hand it over to Nassim now. So welcome.
Thank you, Sarah, for the introduction. So again, I'm Nassim, and we have been founded with my co-partner Frederick, who is in the audience, the company called Bublr. So we started the company in 2020 at the rise of remote working, and as Sarah mentioned, we are like providing a solution for remote company as well as hybrid company. So for us, it's to and to create tools to enable teams, to collaborate, to exchange, and to gather in another setup than Zoom. So if you can move to the next slide. So nice to meet you all. If you can move to, so in terms of number, basically all work now in a distributed fashion, which means that people are in different countries, but they connect through the same company, to build like product. And the number keep rising. We expect roughly 35 million people to work in remote setup by 2025 in USA only. So globally, it's more like 100 million. So the challenge that we are trying to tackle is how you're gonna build in the future when you have a remote company or hybrid company, how you company culture. Because right now, through Zoom, through Team, through like a lot of tools, from the Office package, you are able to collaborate, you're able to change. But how you gonna do to build a culture and to build a link, between people in your company, especially if they work in different countries and if you probably not gonna meet them often in real. So as you can see from his screen, if you see his screen, so in the parallel, Nick is in our environment. So basically to join our environment, it's pretty easy. You just need a URL, then you build with whatever name you want to put, and you can share it to people. It makes you able to go directly to the office. So there is like different design for office based on people recommendation. And then what we did is like we integrate a lot of different collaboration tools like whiteboard, like meeting room. And what we did is like we try to make the place customizable. So you're able to upload your picture, you're able to upload like any 3D assets that you want inside the platform. So in real life, it's not lagging. It's just because I think it's a share screen, we make it lagging. And so the idea is to make really different configuration, create this feeling like being in fit. Now you work for a company. So it's really a place where all your different employees can gather and can group up and, can exchange. So as you can see, we have like different meeting table and different configuration. So Nick, if you can go back to the presentation. So the way I want to do my presentation is I want to go through the process that we have been at Bublr for maybe 18 months, a bit less, for been a year. And the different choice that we have taken to build our platform. And I think it will be great to exchange with you, with the audience, because, you're all a bit familiar with the metaverse, and maybe to have some debate about, we take that decision and maybe we should take, another decision. So basically on Bublr, you have like all the tools, to do collaboration. For example, the screen and stuff. It doesn't have to be streamed by someone else, but I could have streamed it myself. This is, really this type of event like we are doing right now, and like we try to push on Bublr, webinar, conferences, like your weekly meeting. So here you go. So the first requirement for us as a metaverse for work, but I think it's another good one for the metaverse in general. I think our main requirement when we start building the platform was, the inclusivity, because we were believe that if someone can't join the metaverse, so can't join our platform, there is no point of using it. And it makes sense because if I do a Zoom meeting with all of my colleagues, if one of my colleagues can't join it and exclude from the Zoom meeting, and you're going to have to use another platform. So we really believe that the main requirement, for our platform was the inclusivity, which means that you should be able to reach the platform from any device, iPad, an iPhone, a computer, a VR helmet for any device. The second one was for any connection. Basically, people worldwide, everyone has the fiber, like a New York connection. Some people work in third world country, and maybe their connection has less than a New York one. So we really work hard to get like a place which can be used with low latency. That's been a really key requirement for us. So wherever you are, you should be able to reach the place. And the last one, it was like for any budget. This is leading to a lot of happening right now in the metaverse, but we didn't want people to buy the ownership of their place. Because as we can see now, real estate, for metaverse, had become crazy in some platform, and we didn't want to say to people, you have to spend a lot of money to own something somewhere, and then you're able to use it. So that's why the way we work is just like a monthly payment, like your cell phone or like Zoom. So it's pretty cheap for people to be able to have their own office and to use it. So I think this leads to my first question. Nick, if you can change the slide. So if you want to ask question not about the requirement, but what do you believe are like the other requirements to make a metaverse open? What should be the other requirements? Someone else wants to share anything?
If you want to share, you can raise your hand, your emoji hand, or just speak. Well, I'm curious. I have a question then, Nassim. So it's a monthly subscriber fee, and per person through the company, or could I personally have my own account?
Yeah, so basically, if you are a company, there is if you are by yourself, there is a freemium package. So it's basically free for you to create your own office or to customize your own office. We have different environments. We don't have only offices, but we have different. It's free, but you have a limitation of number of people that you can invite. So you basically can invite only 5 people. And if you take the package, so it's up to 25 people, and then you basically pay by the number of people that you want to have access on your platform.
Cool. And are you working with companies presently? Yeah.
So we have roughly 30 companies who are using their platform, as their office for their daily office work.
Cool. And then Haran, do you have a question or a comment?
Yeah, I have sort of a question. So you meant that the space is customizable, right? So do you mean so what exactly is customizable? So can we add pictures onto the wall? Is the space entirely it's customizable?
So at this stage, you only can add pictures, your logo and pictures on different screen and on the wall. You can't really add right now the 3D objects, but this is one of the features that we are working on, to really change it from being customizable to help creator to build their own platform.
But I think that would be really cool to have, because I see myself in the future creating a digital twin of my own office. That would be really cool. Yeah, that's nice.
Cool, thank you. Next is Dax.
Yeah, so my question is, how different is this to every other online VR collaborative solution that's popping out there, including Altspace VR?
Yeah, so, and we're gonna talk about it later in the stuff. So one of the first requirements that we had compared to LVR is we didn't base our strategy on avatar, even if it's something big for the industry, but on real-time communication, because we believe that especially for business relationship and between colleagues, I think being able to see people's face, people emotion when you talk to them in terms of management and exchanging ideas, it's really important. So I would say, first of all, compared to LVR, it's what we do. I think the second one is how accessible is the place. So basically, you have to connect just directly through a URL. So you don't have to download everything. It's web-based. So it's another part of the presentation that we're gonna do. And the third one is we don't try to focus too much on collaboration, even if it's an important part, but we really try to focus on the enterprise, the company culture. So basically, the way we build the platform, and this is about customization slowly, and the way creators are gonna be able to build the platform. It's really to try to create a common place, for your enterprise, where you can really show what is your vision and what your company is envision as a culture for the company. So it's really a place to gather, more than just a place to pop up. If it's reply to your question.
Thank you.
And Warren has our next question.
Thank you, Merkle Tree. My question is it possible to record these sessions with the groups? And if so, what's the quality of audio like?
So out of right now, we can't record the session inside. It's one of the features we are developing right now, but we haven't done it. When we record it ourselves, we use another software who record basically our own screen.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay, so maybe
that's all the questions. Yeah.
Okay. So again, just to finish this, our main requirement was really the inclusivity. So we want, first, when we start building the platform, we really wanted that everyone can join the platform wherever they are, whatever the tools they use, and whatever is connection. So that's the keys that we have, on our platform, I believe. If you can go to the next one, Nick. Okay, so in terms of tech, I wanted to share a bit, so once we decide to have an inclusive platform and we set up the requirement, we try to work on different technologies and, to build our platform. We start working with Unity, and we realized pretty quickly then we wanted to do something web-based, and especially for the inclusivity, if I want to join my office from anyone's computer, I don't need to download everything. I just need to have any browser. And this leads us try different platform and to at the end select Babylon.js. So I don't know if some of the people here are familiar with that. People who develop maybe are familiar with that. And it was really because we believe that Unity and Unreal were not made at this point for the web application. So this leads me to a question. If some people here are developing Metaverse, what do you think about the choice? What do you think about the difference between building a Metaverse on web and building your Metaverse on a different app than you have to connect to? I don't know if someone wants to share anything about this. It can be related to Bublr, but it can be related to your own projects too. But I think it's important to have exchange of like the different technologies that we are using. So anyone wants to share anything about this? About the different technology or about...
I have a quick question, Nazim. And first and foremost, thank you for hosting this event. You know, the experience is spectacular, so kudos to you and your team. But to your question regarding the metaverse, I think it's going to be siloed because one thing that, you know, everyone is trying to solve is the interoperability between metaverses. So I know that Unreal, Unity, and Babylon are going to play. They're going to be big parts. So the tech stack that you're using today is spectacular.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, so basically we believe, at least for first stage, for mass adoption, it was complicated to people, you know, to our clients when they onboard their team, to ask them to download something, to make sure that, you know, when you update a new version of everything, you know, they have to do it by themselves on their computer. I think one of the challenge here for us compared to not most of the metaverse, but a lot of projects happening, it's the type of people who are using our platform. So, you know, when you onboard your company and you have like 40 employees, you're not going to have only 25 years old or 35 years old tech people. You know, you're going to have people who, you know, are over 50, who never really work in this type of environments. And that's why we believe that, you know, really have like just a web application was like really something good for them, because people who really never work in a 3D environment or even basically never work online can have like a really quick access by just clicking, you know, on a button. I see a question, I think.
Yeah, I would like to know your vision on mixed realities offices. So would your platform be usable in some kind of way in a hybrid environment? Where people can go to a real office as well to the virtual office?
So that's a really good question. So basically, out of right now, the way we see Bublr, it's more specified for remote work. So most of the people are remote companies, but we have some hybrid companies. So two projects that we are developing here. First one is what they call photogrammetry. Basically, you're going to be able to have a twins of your office. So basically, you go to your office, you take 360 pictures, you send it to Bublr, and we're going to really build the twins, the digital twins for your office. So basically, you're going to have your physical office and your digital office. And this is going to be able, you know what I mean, to at least have the remote people going to be in your digital office, and the standard people who are in the physical office are going to be there. It is going to be the same area, which make it, you know, at least recognizable for both of them. The second project that we're leading, we're working with a partner trying to do with augmented reality, you know, being able to connect people from your digital office and people from your physical office. So if you are in the room, but say you are in the meeting room of your physical office and someone is in the meeting room of your virtual office, the idea would be to be able to connect them, not through a screen, but really to connect them through like augmented reality. I think in terms of technology, we're pretty close from that because they do volumetric video. There is a lot of companies, you know, pretty good at doing that. The problem here, it's more the hardware. So, you know, in terms of glasses, the technology is almost there, but it's still like pretty difficult with like, you know, live video and stuff like that. So we're working on it, but I think the hardware is a bit the problem here.
Jim, we'll go to Jim. Let me amplify you, and then we'll go to Hero. So just one moment, Jim. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for your answer. Really in-depth answer. I have one follow-up question. For the augmented reality technology, what's the percentage of artificial intelligence usage in this application? And would things be able to be rendered in real time at a certain point? Regarding augmented reality and physical appearance in the real life office.
I'm not 100% sure that I understand the question when you're talking about like artificial intelligence. Are you talking about like being a bot or something, or you mean you're talking about like then the people you will talk will be like AI, or you're talking about AI in the process of creating live video in augmented reality?
Exactly, a live feed as it will. So for long-term development of these type of platforms, I think this is a technology that will be able to function in real time as well, using live video processing. Do you see there's something coming to your platform at one point in the late future?
I would say probably. Again, you know, we always have to base everything through our like first requirement of inclusivity. The more we add AI, the more we add technology through the platform, and the more difficult is it to access to it. This is what we realized, for example, with like face tracking. You know, we wanted to do face tracking with like, you know, special sound effect with, you know, AI sound base. Because the more you have like, either you have to do the calculation on your computer, which means that you need to have like a strong computer, or either the connection are made on a server, but basically you need to have like a strong internet connection. So I understand where you're coming, and I think it's coming a lot from our partner when they do like live volumetric videos. They use a lot of AI, and I'm not sure I reply well to your question, but that's kind of the closest I can say, I would say.
No, thank you for your answer. Thank you.
Great.
Hi,
Next, we have a question from Hero.
Yeah, hi. Nice to meet you. I'm an Altspace user, but I'm also like currently doing a PhD on VR, and so I'm very interested in like, you know, what you said in the presentation, this whole like potential of VR. And I guess I have two questions. The first would be like, have you had the experience of using VR for negotiations like purposes? And do you think it can be useful in that respect? And then the other one, like, do you think that the pandemic had an effect on like use of the metaverse kind of technologies?
So for the first question, so in terms of negotiation, the problem of VR, I would say the problem of VR right now, it's then you need to have like people in front of you who have VR. And so when you are yourself in the position of selling something, you can't too much impose to your clients, you know what I mean, the formats that you want to use. So I say the first is access, saying to someone, can you join me in VR? Either the guy say, I don't have like VR, you know, I don't have like VR helmet, or I don't want to use it, or I don't have it with me. So you're not going to have really the solution for that. So I think that's the first barrier. The second barrier that I have, and I see it, and it's more my next slide, but it's really like the real-time communication compared to like avatar. People who buy for some reason, at least right now, because we're really early stage in the process of like, you know, avatar, people who buy like to see the face of people they buy from, because a lot of things happen in the eyes, especially in terms of like, you know, business world and negotiation. If you do your pitch, something really important. You know, body movement is something, but I think like facial movement, like especially the eyes and how you react, are key component in negotiation. You know, especially when you negotiate big stuff, it's really important for people to be able to read facial expression. I think what you could do as a parallel is like taking poker. Is it is it as interesting to play poker if you can't see people's face? So why people play in real and not just like online? So there is like both school, but we'll see the big one as still playing in real, because this is where you can do that. So that's my first question for negotiation. I don't say it's impossible. I don't say for tech-oriented, companies dealing with different other companies, I think it works. But I think in the mass market right now, I will still believe that people want to see people as face. To go back to your second question about the pandemic, definitely. I mean, my background is like, I'm designer to build like offices. So I'm building offices, like physical offices for people. And I used to travel all the time. And everything that I used to do, traveling, meeting clients on site, meeting clients in their office, I just do it through like either Metaverse or either Zoom and I mean, it works. So basically, if you start from that principle of like it's working, which means like the world didn't collapse, deals has been signed through Zoom, big deals, you know what I mean? Like everything has been done through Zoom. It definitely give a push because it's a proof of concept. Basically, COVID for all this industry of like a distributed team and like Zoom connection or like real-time connection metaverse, the proof of concept is already there because we live at least for 3, 4, 5 months with total blackout, total shutdown, where you haven't seen anyone for 4 months and nothing's collapsed. Either you will be like a trader, you will work somewhere, you know what I mean? You were like, doing supply chain, you were working in China, you were working in France, in Europe, in US. Everybody was in his own space, and companies are still running, company make profit. And I think just to finish, maybe I took too much, but just to finish, I think companies who were set up for that, so mostly tech companies and small companies did a lot of money, made a lot of money and showed to the other companies, and you have to be ready. You know what I mean? You need and you have to be set up for that, because who knows if like in 2 years there will be not another COVID. Touch wood here, but so it's really important, I think, in like the strategic development of company or what they have in their mind, because they do risk assessment. So they're like, we need to get ready in case of something happen. We need to be able to have like all our team in different offices or in different places being able to be efficient and to communicate and to build culture. And that's why Bublr is here. It's because the culture part is an important part of how to set up a remote company.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm gonna go to the next slide. I'm sorry if I talk a bit too much. Nick, can you go to the next slide? Okay, so go to the next one, because we kind of review that. Okay, so here I think it's an important choice that we have made, but I think I already replied to the question. So, we were wondering if we should use like avatar based or like real-time communication, which means like first of all, technologically speaking, so much more difficult to use real-time communication compared to avatar, because when you have to deal with video in a special environment, it's much more difficult than just manage the audio as we're doing on AlVR. So we will add the question between like, should we do an avatar-based platform like most of the metaverse? This is really a key fact of the metaverse, or should we use real-time communication? As I mentioned already, because we use it in a professional context. We really believe that like real-time communication was a plus. I think at one point or another, you want to see the face of your colleague if you speak with them every day. And when you do negotiation, when you talk about business, it's always important to be able to see who is in front of you. One of the key of Bublr, because you see, we just like tracking the face basically of people. You can be in pyjama, you can still be in pyjama, and they're only gonna see your face. So that's one of the key factors for our platform. So this leads me for a question, because I presume most of the metaverse are using avatar. What is your opinion? Basically, do you believe that at one point just everybody is gonna use avatar, or there will still be platform where you have your camera. You as a user of Metaverse, do you feel less comfortable using your camera than using an avatar? Do you think we should have both? If someone wants to share anything on it?
Well, I don't see. I can say something.
Yeah.
So I don't see why it's going to be even a discussion. I can imagine. I can imagine that, let's say 2 years from now, so not today, but 2 years from now, you can imagine that as you make your avatar, you can select what sort of head you want. And if you want to put a static photo, you know, like LinkedIn or something, or if you want to put a video feed, I can imagine you can probably choose that, and it's up to you. So I don't think it's so much in which direction it's going to go. I think it's going to go in whatever direction anyone wants to define their own avatar.
Do you believe? So I'm gonna repeat. Do you believe that it's an issue and you can't really see facial expression? So it's gonna lead to this next slide, Nick. You can put the next slide. But there's a lot of projects about meta-humans. You know what I mean? And the capability to retranscreate like facial expression, you know, within like your avatar. So it's not really about what you look like.
It depends on what your business is, right? Because I already do a lot of business via email or via telephone, or you know, in many other ways in which I don't see the person in the other end. I buy a lot of things from a lot of different places. I get customer service that I never see. So I'm not sure if it's, you know, I think there might be some instances in which facial expression is important, but I don't think it's such a wide statement that it's key for business relationships.
Okay, I understand your point of view. So that's a good answer. We did believe that at one point or another, at least for us, because we do a lot of like, you know, colleague meeting and, you know, business meeting, we believe that at one point the avatar is gonna be the main point, and this is gonna lead when like, you know, meta-human is gonna be like really strong. So when you can retranscribe like your facial expression. So, but at this point, the technology is not ready. I think it's gonna be ready soon. The same depends what is gonna lead in terms of like, you know, where it's gonna reduce the capability for people to join it. But that's an interesting subject, I think, especially based on the fact that if you wear a VR helmet, you can't see people's face. So this is a big limitation. Can you go to the next slide, Nick, please? So this is a subject related to one of the questions that you asked me at the beginning. So we really believe that one of the key factors for the metaverse, including what we're doing ourselves, is to enable creator, you know what I mean, to create their own like environments. And I think by ourselves, we wanted to push even further this concept, because let's say you have no knowledge in 3D rendering, you can't build like 3D environments. How will you be able to build your own space? So out of right now, our place, Bublr, is just customizable. So anyone go, you have like framing and you have TVs and you can just upload any pictures. So anyone who knows how to upload the pictures can basically what we are working right now is that. Yeah.
You're breaking up a little bit, Nassim.
Okay, sorry. So just gonna restart maybe quickly. Out of now in Bublr, you can customize, which means like you can upload pictures, you know, and you can upload video on screen. So when people run around your office, they can see your own pictures. When you set up your own private desk office, you can put pictures of your family, whatever you. If you buy like NFTs or stuff like that, you can, you know, display them on the platform. But where we working right now in terms of like, you know, development is what I was mentioning. We
I think you broke up a little bit again.
I'm breaking up again.
Yeah, you went out
better
for
now?
maybe like 10 seconds. Yeah, that's good.
It looks like it's lagging a bit. So basically, the next step for us is like photogrammetry. Basically, people with the 360 cameras are gonna be able to take pictures, and then we're trying to build, we're trying to build a platform where you can put your 360 pictures, and this is gonna create a 3D space. Then you're gonna be able to join through Bublr. So basically, you're gonna be able to build your own 3D space with no 3D skills, CGI skills, so no 3D skills. And I think this is gonna open. The group is called the Open Metaverse, but I think this is gonna open, the 3D environment to really a lot of people, because people with no really skills gonna be able to create 3D. So I don't know for other people using Metaverse and what you're doing, but it would be interesting to have your opinion about that. You know what I mean? Do you believe that it's really important that people are building their space using beyond of like handling 3D objects, or do you think the fact of like translating pictures to 3D environments is kind of a key feature for the Metaverse in general?
I think I'll ask that again. He's asking about what your opinions on 3D, using photos to create 3D spaces. Is that correct, Nassim?
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. So if any of you have thoughts on that, raise your hand, and I'll.
Skyboxes, and you're creating certain spots in your cities or wherever, in certain locations, and yeah, it's useful. Definitely for here.
So it's gonna be a kind of like.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, do you want to say that again, Redbeard? You're amplified, so now everyone can hear you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, I was saying no. The cameras are definitely good. I mean, obviously for visuals, if you're creating worlds inside Altspace that give you, the ability to create places that you want, recreate old places you used to hang out. You can take photographs to make that skyboxes, I guess. It's cool.
Yeah, I think so. Does anyone else have questions or comments on this?
I could say
Does someone else have a question? I didn't see you. I'll amplify you.
I can make a comment.
Yeah. It's
Oh, yep. Got you. Thanks. You were behind me. Let me amplify you. Okay, go ahead.
Right. Well, I think it's a brilliant idea for anyone who doesn't want to deal with 3D. So you can just take a photo and voila, you're done. I think that's going to simplify a lot of things. I think there's also room for people who want to do 3D to build a space. But what I think is interesting, and it's an open question, is does taking a photo also mean that your environment becomes quite busy? Because if I create something from 3D here in Altspace, it's pretty simple, right? Simple lines, simple everything. So my visual input is reduced. So I can focus on the people and who's here. But I can imagine if I take a photo of my room, it could be quite messy. So if I bring everybody into the room, maybe it's not so easy to tell people from background because there could be so many things in it. It's an open thought. I haven't.
That's a good question. Good question. After it, I would say.
So I guess the question, it's an open question. I don't think we have an answer yet, but I'm just pondering, if you take a photo, it makes it very simple for everyone to use. The only risk might be that if you take a photo of environments that are visually busy, that it might make your experience a bit hectic because there's a lot going on, as opposed to a plain 3D environment, which tends to be a lot more bare.
Yeah, I was maybe, if I can maybe like reply for you. I'm Frederick, the CTO of Bublr. And so yeah, actually that's a question we ask ourselves because not everyone is an art director. So we are thinking, are we giving a lot of freedom to the user, then just going to create like a messy office or messy environment, or are we controlling what they're able to do and just giving just a little bit of freedom? The outcome would be much better. Yes, like what we're saying, like red beard man. Actually, yeah, we take a picture and it become like a skybox. Basically, it become just like a overall environment. But there's still been some work to be done on the designing where I want to stand and what I want the users to stand on. So yeah, it's definitely an open debate. Maybe giving a whole freedom to everyone. We create a lot of messy rooms, but maybe it's going to be as well a couple of interesting ones, and maybe naturally people would just avoid the messy one and go to good ones. And this is a way to select. We're still not sure actually which direction we should go, honestly.
Presentation, Nassim. Bublr seems like a very interesting solution for hybrid and fully remote work situations. Do we want to like meet and greet and people can come off mute and come down and talk to each other and meet Nassim if you'd like? And then a big round. Yeah, a big round of applause for Nick, who has handled the tech in this event. Thank you so much. And everyone who has come and participated in the presentation, thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure. And I'm going to unamplify myself now.